All right, so intro to factoring quadratics. A quadratic is anything where you have x squared as your highest degree. So when we FOIL and multiply these out, we will have x times x, which will give me x squared, x times 8, which will be 8x, 2 times x, which will give me 2x, and 2 times 8, which will give you 16. Now these middle two terms right here we can combine because they are like terms, and that will give you x squared plus 10x plus 16. So the connection between x plus 2 and x plus 8 and your simplified final answer is this middle term right here. If you notice that 2 plus 8 will give you 10, and 2 times 8 gives you 16. That is your B term, the one that comes second, and your C term, right? So if you notice, that is a 10x right there, and then a 16. That works like that every single time. Now we're going to factor, and factoring means going backwards, right? So I'm going to give you the trinomial, the one with 3 terms, and we're going to go backwards to where we started. So if multiplying and FOILing, distributing is multiplying, then factoring would be like dividing. We're dividing this into two different things. So this is how it works every single time, and we're going to have plenty of practice on this, but you do it like this every single time. So you see this first sign right here. The first sign is a plus. What you do is you drop that sign down. And then this second sign right here is a plus. This one you don't necessarily drop down, but it tells you whether your first and second sign here are going to be the same or different. Okay, so if it's plus, that means the same, and if it's minus, that's going to be different. Well, since it's plus, they got to be the same, and since we already have a plus sign here, our second one has to be a plus as well. Now, the x will always go in the front like this. There's very rare cases where it doesn't, and I'll show you those. But then all we're looking for now is factors of 12 that will add to give us 7. So we're looking for two things that multiply to give you 12 and that will add to give you 7. So we kind of read this backwards. Factors of 12 that add to give us 7. Now the factors of 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. So we're just adding these together to see what they will get. And the only one that gives us 7 is 3 and 4. So these are the ones that we're going to use. And very, very important, you're going to put the bigger number first. So that's x plus 4 and x plus 3. If you flip them in this case, that's okay, but it's not okay in all cases. So you need to be very careful with that. Make sure that you always put the bigger number first. So the very first step we do is we set up 2 sets of parentheses, and you can pause this video and replay this over and over and over again if you'd like. So we set up 2 parentheses. The first thing we do is drop that first sign. We don't drop the second sign. That second sign tells us whether they are the same or whether they are different. Okay, so this second sign is a plus. That means that these 2 signs are going to be the same. So it has to be a plus. X's go up front. Factors of 18 that will add to give us 9. We read it right to left. So 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. And we're looking for which one of those add to give us 9. That's going to be 3 and 6. And then we want the bigger number first. So the 6 comes first, and then the 3 is at the end. So pretty much what you could do is you could take this and FOIL it back out and multiply it back, and you'd see that we get right back to our same answer. And we'll combine those middle terms, and we get right back to that answer that we had at the very beginning, x squared plus 9x plus 18. So that's how you know, that's how you can check and know that you did it correctly. If once you FOIL these out, you get back to the original problem. But x plus 6 and x plus 3 is your final answer here. All right, so a little bit more. 2 sets of parentheses. Drop your first sign. The second sign is a plus. It tells us they're the same. So our second sign has to be a plus as well. You won't see any like this today, But I will tell you that if you have something that's like x squared plus 5x, well, let me do this. What if I gave you something that was x squared minus 5x plus 6? Then what you would do is you would still drop that first sign. It would be a minus, but the second sign tells you that they're the same. So that means the second sign would have to be a minus as well. Okay, so it all depends on that first sign that you drop down. So we have x's in the first, and then we're looking for factors of 20 that will add to give us 9. Hopefully you don't have to write all this out, and you can just kind of see. You know your multiplication tables, and you know which one of those will add to give you 9, but it is 5 and 4. Why does 5 come first? Because it's the bigger number. All right, 2 sets of parentheses. Drop your first sign. Second sign tells you that they are going to be the same. Factors of 20 that will add to give you 12. Well, actually, we already have the factors of 20 right over here, and you can see that 10 and 2 are the ones that we're going to use. So 10 comes first, 2 goes last. All right, just a few more. 2 sets of parentheses. Drop your first sign. Second sign tells you they're the same. Now, this one's a little different, but it's actually a lot easier. Factors of 7 that will add to give me 8. Well, there's only 2 factors of 7. It's 1 and 7. And 1 and 7 do add to give you 8. So, x's go in the beginning, 7 goes first, 1 goes at the end. 2 sets of parentheses. Drop your first sign. Second sign tells you they are the same. Factors of 16 that will add to give you 8. 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. So obviously it is 4 and 4. Doesn't matter which one comes first because they are the same. All right, last 2 sets of parentheses. Drop your first sign. Your second sign tells you they are the same. Factors of 10 that will add to give you 11. Now, if you notice, it's only 1 away, right? So the factors of 10 that will add to give you 11, we do have 2 and 5 down here, but that would add to give us 7. 10 and 1 are your answer here. So if it's only 1 away, most likely it's going to be that number and 1. And the last one, 2 sets of parentheses. Drop your first sign. Second sign tells you they are the same. Factors of 24 that will add to give you 10. 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. 4 and 6 are the ones that add to give you 10. So it is x plus 6 and x plus 4. In the future, we'll do a little bit different where you don't have plus plus every single time. We'll kind of mix them up a little bit.